Howdy, folks. This is Wonder Montage Survival here. Got Project Zomboid footage. This is episode 3 of Adelina Hollenbeck in West Point. Kind of a wacky episode. I have a lot of complaints that I could make about, things in general and yada yada. But I'll just go ahead and talk about the technical difficulties that I had in filming this episode because I think that they were very interesting. I can very much just blame Microsoft for them. Absolutely on their end. I'm sorry. They had an update that they were pushing that seems to have taken up all of my drive space or whatever, what have you, and it caused the game to crash twice during the filming of this first day. So kind of an issue. So you'll see twice actually the game stop, and then I fired it back up and the time resets to when Adelina had last woken up, which was at that 5:20, 5:30 mark. It'll be once in the street and then once in the police station, which is a spot that I ended up just looting for shotgun shells. I'm thinking I'll probably end up going on a shooting spree here in a little bit, not in this episode, but kind of soon, just because it's a great way to up your kill count. You got to get aiming and reloading somehow, and that's I think one of the I'm not somebody who enjoys sitting around in bed and reloading a pistol over and over and over again. I just will gain reloading skill while I'm out and about. So yeah, that happened, and it was really annoying. It was fun, the night that it happened. I mean, it was I'd been playing, I'd had a long day at work, or I was cooling off before having to go into a couple of really big days of work that we had. And after the second time it happened, I was just I'd remembered reading online that there had been a what have you, a Windows 10 update that recently came through, and I was well, it was probably related to the Windows 10 update, and I was correct. It was. So, yeah, suck on that, Windows. Microsoft sucks. I'm probably going to end up switching to Linux or something by the time they end support for Windows 10, because there's not a chance in hell I'm switching over to Windows 11. I have hated Windows 10 ever since I started using it, so yeah, I'd rather just free open source software is so much, it's not more reliable, but it just is the fact that it's held together by some jank and a community of people that usually really care about the project, as opposed to a corporation that is simply beholden to the value of their stock or whatever is what's going to probably affect that, my decision making. Anyways, so I decided to come down to the police station to do some looting, get some shotguns, and just because I'm kind of wanting to work my way downtown, and sing the song if you want. just because downtown West Point is going to end up having fairly fruitful looting for us. So I think this is the first. Yeah, there's the first crash. And so yeah, we reload and it's 5:20 in the morning. I was uncertain about whether this would affect helicopter spawns, so that was kind of a thing I was worried about. Fortunately, it didn't. It did affect the the total amount of time that my character has survived did go up, which was interesting. And I mean, like, yeah, some of the loot that we had was saved, but some other things that I picked up ended up being moved back to where they'd been. So yeah, Windows just totally can eat shit because it just really fucked up here. I think some other things that were kind of you'll notice here, as I always am kind of saying, like, you don't want to, if you're fighting indoors, like, you never really want to take on more than a couple zombies at a time. It's usually much smarter to get yourself out of the location that you're at than it is to like take on a large group. The character that I had kind of hoped to start, who I had wanted to use as the first character for the channel, actually ended up absolutely getting killed while in what's that place called? Louisville. I was at the Finnegan's Research Facility, which is a place I have a lot to say about, actually. But I'm not going to talk about it here. So in between, again, we're at 5:20 a.m. because the game crashed and it didn't properly save the time that it was at the time of the crash. So those first 2 days that happened, that was probably whatever night, like 2 or 3 days ago, and then I had 2 really busy days at work, and just hadn't played, and decided to come back to the game, because I mean, like, I'm not shooting a frickin' like movie here or something like that. Like, I'm showing the gameplay footage to the boys. We also snagged the station wagon, and I drive it over to the gas station because it had keys and it's in okay condition, and we just need some gas. So load her up, and yeah, we got a car now, which is very exciting because we'll be able to start grabbing some of the heavier items that we're looking for: furniture, generators, We have a huge number of shelves, so storage is like not necessarily an issue right now. But again, you'll even see I'm listening to the ABS a third time because I'm just like, man, like, freaking Microsoft being clowns here. And even that's an insult to clowns, because clowns have to go to pretty serious college in order to be considered a true clown, or just have to be really entertaining. And Microsoft is not being entertaining here. They are dropping the ball. So really, they're like an overpaid athlete or something. It's kind of the easiest comparison. I'm also going to grab these planks. Now that we have a sledgehammer, we can isolate the bedroom, which is going to be very important because we need to ensure our safety with the forthcoming helicopter event. which is a thing we will get to do. So the way that I kind of logistics my way into this is I am going to first break a window upstairs and use that as one of the points of entry for our bedroom. And now when I destroy the staircase, we will already have a way to go up to our bedroom. And so, yeah, once I destroy the staircase, I'll be able to put this fence up and then attach a sheet rope to that fence. And I'm not really big. I know there's like the double gate that surrounds the crate setup that a lot of people use as like a absolute like zombie defense. Like there's zero way for the zombie pathfinding to work around that setup. They won't destroy it. They won't. Yeah, they just can't figure out how to get around that. But it's a little too cheesy for me. It's also funny because I mean we've been up for presumably like I'm not. It's like 16 plus the 8 hours, so like a whole day. It's probably 16 and 8 hours at least. I just pound a bunch of vitamins. We're kind of preparing for the forthcoming helicopter. Yeah, just because even though we are like way out on the far side of West Point, like if the helicopter just flies the wrong way a couple times or leaves the area the wrong way, then we could just be like slammed with zombies all around us. And honestly, it wasn't the worst that I've ever seen. I've seen some pretty harsh like helicopter events in my days, and this one was not too bad. I'm not too certain if it's because I cleared out so much or if we just got lucky. But we're just kind of, again, like the big, it's late in the day now. And so we're just going to do a lot of inventory management and make sure that we are kind of able to solidify our like movement forward. We've been finding a lot of skill books, so we're going to start really working on our skills. I'm trying to get electrician out of the way because you just get so many more experience points off of watches by dismantling watches when you've read the electrical like skill book. So this is like day 2, but it's kind of hard to call it. It's like almost like a third day. We're gonna like step out, and we're gonna kind of the same as the last one. We're just gathering more supplies. I was debating whether I wanted to do stuff downstairs, but it didn't really matter. I was like, it's about 7. I'm gonna listen to the ABS. Be prepared for a helicopter. No helicopter on this day. Spoiler, I know. So we'll end up kind of doing some more stuff over here on the east side of town. We're gonna go over to the gun store, get a lot more of the alcohol out of Twiggy's. I forgot that we had the car. That was a new development at this time, so go back and grab the car. Gonna take a sip of my beverages. I mean, the sledgehammer is so useful. It just like gives you access to so many areas in the game that you didn't previously have, and this is one of them. Like, it's just really nice being able to break into this the little gun store, especially because I have ammo set to abundant, I believe. So I mean, we're gonna have plenty of ammo over the course of this run. Now that we've gotten into here, we'll end up having a nice little shooting spree at some point. Just in order to, especially as we're getting closer and closer to peak day, which is about a month out. We'll just need that that sort of stuff. And at first I'd even thought, like, oh, we have enough. And then I saw the trash can over there, and I was like, oh, free garbage bag? Hell yeah, more loot. Drop stuff off in there. We'll run over to Twiggy's, which is also right here. It's probably also going to have to be a boring day where we go and level up carpentry by just disassembling a bunch of stuff. I think I'm probably going to do that at the hotel, or whatever it is. Yeah, the hotel that's, like, also here in West Point. It's, like, one of the first buildings, just past the construction site as we're working our way into town. It's right across the street from the Gigamart. I also remember that there are several school bags that I haven't looted in here, so I just fill one up with more dry food. Although we're not like hurting for food, my weight is like kind of questionable. It was funny too, like over this day and the next, I like ate a lot of weight increasing food, and we end up getting up to 84 pounds, or whatever it is, 84 units. So we almost were crossing the threshold into overweight, but if you've ever played the game, you kind of know how finicky the weight system is. I also remember that there's this trailer over here, and especially because the station wagon, although in general, like the engine works and the battery works, which are two things that you really want. The trunk is very small, and I just figure having the trailer will mean that we'll be able to get more loot, which is always good. And for those who don't know, you can attach cars to the back of your car, and you can move them around, which I didn't really realize for a long time, and I would just like ram vehicles into other vehicles in order to give myself like room, and it just, it destroys your vehicles, and there's always the possibility that you'll get injured while doing stuff like that. Knowing that we have this like additional 80 units of storage, I decided to come over to the storage units here, where we've seen 2 generators spawn, which is huge because I have generator spawn set to low. And we'll grab one of them, and now all we need is the generator magazine to figure out how to plug in the generator, which in real life is not that hard, but in the game it's one of the big bottlenecks that I swear to God, sometimes you'll find 4 in the first week, and then other times you won't find a copy of it for weeks on weeks. We still have to loot Enigma books, which I've kind of cleared my way towards, but have not actually gotten into at this point. That's kind of all I have to say on that. It's so funny too how this game kind of works in terms of like you'll be worried about your weight, and then all of a sudden you have plenty to take care of your weight, so you're not concerned about it. And you won't have any ammo, and so you're like, well, I can't go shooting, and then you'll have so much ammo you don't know what to do with it, and then you use your ammo and you have no ammo all of a sudden. Or you think you're fine in terms of weapons, and all of a sudden you have no weapons. Just like lots of, it can be finicky having to figure out like what you need. And I think especially for newer players, one of the things to kind of take note of is that you don't need to be getting everything early on. You just need to be getting enough in order to like keep yourself alive. So just having enough food to last you into like the next day or the next 3 days, and having enough weapons to be able to like loot another couple of points of interest. It doesn't matter like what car you have. Sometimes you just need a car in order to like get to other areas. Like those are the things that you kind of have to recognize. Yeah, that you don't need everything. You just need enough in order to keep yourself alive. And then once both being able to read resources that you need, and also your I forget the other thing I was gonna say. There's another thing you have to be able to read. Oh, no, and learning how the combat works, just because the combat is finicky in terms of how, like, you have to click around and this, that, and the other is very annoying. So, knowing how to do that is just very important. So, here on the 3rd day, we finally have air activity. I decided to microwave a sausage, just so we have something to eat. I think I grabbed like a box of cereal or something as well. I'll grab a couple of books. I forget to do that right there, but it's still just a little early enough. And we'll hang out in our bedroom for the day, because as I had disassembled the door to the wig out room, thinking I might get the door hinges off of it to be able to build it into the real wig out room that we're looking for, and we didn't. So that's going to be a thing we're kind of looking for, or some door hinges. We just read some skill books. I read, I believe by 10 a.m. the helicopter had showed up. If I hadn't already finished Electrician, I'm finishing that up now. We read all of Farming. We started cooking, and I'm probably going to do Mechanics next as well, because I would like to get a little bit of a jump start on Mechanics, which is probably the most unfun skill to upgrade in this game. It just like takes a lot of UI management, and you just are like uninstalling seats and reinstalling the seats. or uninstalling Windows and reinstalling the window. So long as you have like any shitty car that you don't mind degrading. So like you don't usually if you have like this sick purple truck and you're like, I also have to get better at mechanics. Like you don't want to be practicing on your cool truck. You should find some like shitty like coupe or a van or just a car that you don't care about, that's already in kind of bad condition that you can like do work on. So the helicopter left at about 12:30, and I decided to just hang out in the room for another hour. Just play it safe. Sometimes it sounds like the helicopter's gone, and then it's kind of doing another tour. I don't know where it goes, but it goes off, and then it'll come back. Usually it does at most hang out for about 4 or 5 hours. And that's when you'll afterwards like kind of be like, okay, we're officially like done with this event. There's a good number of zombies in the area, and a lot of them continue to migrate north over the course of this episode. Kind of how these guys are going from screen left to screen right. And so we just kind of work on intercepting them as they are working their way across the field, and we take care of them. It's not a whole lot, actually, which is very nice. And I realize this already happened, but I was really grateful because I kind of stupidly just opened that side door, seeing the one guy on the garage. I opened the door and see the other guy right behind the door, and I was worried that he was gonna like fuck me up somehow. And we didn't get, he didn't injure us, so no harm was incurred to us, which is unusual in my playstyle. But yeah, overall we walked away fine, and we just spent the day clearing out all these zombies in the immediate area, ensuring that the base is going to be safe. And that's more or less it. I guess moving forward, we're going to want to continue to acquire. We're going to have to continue to work on our carpentry skill so that we can move into beautification. Going to have to go for a big gun kind of day at some point so that we can get more of West Point kind of cleared out. I really am looking forward to that, actually. The gun days are always so fun, and that's kind of it that I have immediately planned. Like at this point, I've played enough West Point that it feels kind of chill. We're not like too. I don't feel too keen on like I'll probably want an RV like way down the line. Because I do think I want to eventually get out of West Point, but that's something that is going to happen like much later than where we are right now. As things stand, we're going to probably set up some farming, and just kind of like solidify our foundation, make sure that we're able to keep this character around for a little bit. We didn't find much too. We just found some clothes and a couple weapons, but if you haven't figured out, I am a little like fashion hoe in this game. I love playing characters who have lots lots of outfits so that I'm not. I prefer that feeling of just being like, okay, it's another day. Let's have a different outfit. Like instead of having like a cartoon character who wears the same things. Anyways, that's about it. I really appreciate you watching. Yeah, hope you take care. Ciao.